The Jungle Book. Chapter 1. A Baby in the Forest. In a small cave in the deep, green Indian forest lived a family of wolves. They were Father Wolf, Mother Wolf, and their 4 little newborn cubs. On a warm summer evening, Father Wolf decided to go and look for food. While searching for something to eat in the area around the cave, he heard a familiar voice. It was Tabaki, a jackal who was always making trouble.
Shere Khan, the tiger, is coming here for food,
said Tabaki.
Impossible. According to the laws of the forest, he should tell us first,
said Father Wolf.
He didn't tell anyone because tonight he is hunting men, not animals,
said Tabaki.
He saw someone holding a baby in the forest. He wanted to hunt them.
The laws of the forest don't allow man-killing unless they have guns and they have come to the forest to kill us,
said Father Wolf. Tabaki left, and Father Wolf continued searching for some food, when suddenly he heard a strange sound coming from behind a big tree. It was a baby.
A man cub,
said Father Wolf.
He seems hungry.
Father Wolf took the baby to the cave. Mother Wolf felt pity for the baby. She suggested feeding him with her little cubs. While feeding the young baby, they heard a loud roar. It was Shere Khan.
I am looking for the young baby. I know he is here with you. His father ran and left him while I was chasing them. The baby is mine,
said Shere Khan angrily. Although Shere Khan was a big and scary tiger, Father Wolf was not afraid because Shere Khan was too big to enter the cave.
No, you cannot have the baby. He is ours now,
said Father Wolf.
We will raise him up as if he is one of our own cubs.
Shere Khan was very angry. He wanted to kill the baby because he hated men. He thought that when the baby grew older, he would be a hunter and hunt animals.
The man cub will be mine one day,
said Shere Khan. When Shere Khan left the cave, Mother Wolf was surprised that her husband said that they would keep the boy. What about the laws of the jungle? Asked Mother Wolf. They state that all cubs should go to the pack when they are older and can run. They were worried that the pack would not accept him, but they decided to raise the baby up. They called him Mowgli. Chapter 2. A Man Cub. Years passed by, and the cubs and their brother, the man cub, grew older. It was time to join the pack of wolves. Father and Mother Wolf took the 4 cubs and Mowgli to the meeting rock, where hundreds of wolves used to meet every month when the moon was full. The leader of the pack was a wise, old gray wolf. His name was Akela. Each new wolf cub came to stand in front of him to decide with the help of the pack members whether the new cub would join the pack. Aquila and the pack of wolves accepted the 4 wolf cubs, but he was very confused to accept the man cub because he was different. He said that it was hard and dangerous for a man cub to live in the jungle. While talking, they heard a loud roar coming from behind a tree. It was Shere Khan.
The man cub belongs to me. Give him to me,
said Shere Khan angrily. Aquila didn't look at Shere Khan and continued speaking to the pack.
Well, who speaks for this man cub? 2 wolves who are not his mother and father must speak for him,
Aquila said. Only one other animal was allowed to attend the meeting. It was Baloo the bear. Baloo was the wolves' teacher. He used to teach all the young cubs the laws of the jungle.
I will speak for the man cub,
said Baloo.
Let him join the pack, and I will teach him all the laws of the jungle.
Aquila asked for another voice to speak for him. It was Bagheera, a clever, strong, and dangerous Black Panther.
Though I am not one of the pack, I have something to say. If you refuse to let the man cub join the pack, Shere Khan will kill him. The laws of the jungle don't allow us to kill a man if he doesn't have a gun. Accept him. I think he will be useful for us,
said Bagheera. Another wolf came to the middle of the circle and spoke for the boy.
The man cub is one of us. He should learn the laws of the jungle and follow them,
said Aquila.
Now the man is a brother wolf.
Chapter 3. A Warning for Mowgli. Mowgli grew up and learned with his brothers and sisters. Father Wolf taught him everything a wolf needed to know. Baloo also taught him many things. He taught him the meaning of all things in the jungle. He taught him the names of all the plants and the language of the animals. But, above all, Mowgli learned the laws of the jungle. Bagheera the panther also taught him a lot of things. He taught him to climb a tree and lie on the branches. But the most important thing that Bagheera taught Mowgli was not to trust men. He told him that he was born among men because they trapped his mother. They kept him in a cage until he was able to escape. He told Mowgli that when he escaped, he had to get back to the jungle. He reminded Mowgli that he was a man and one day he would go back to live among people because they are his real brothers. "Why should I return to live where men live?" asked Mowgli.
Aquila is becoming older. When Aquila is dead, Shere Khan will kill you. He never forgot that he lost you one day,
Bagheera answered. "The wolves are my brothers. They will protect me," Mowgli said.
Shere Khan is a wicked tiger. He makes friends with many of the wolves. He told them that he was surprised that they allowed an old and dying wolf to be their leader.
He also told them that they shouldn't accept a man cub to be one of them, especially after Father Wolf dies.
Bagheera answered. Why will any of them want to kill me? Asked Mowgli.
They can't look you in the eye. They are not as clever as you are. Men are different, and you are a man,
said Bagheera. Bagheera told Mowgli that he must take care of himself, and he should go to the men's huts in the village and get the red flower. Chapter 4. The Red Flower. The red flower that Bagheera meant was fire. No animal in the jungle ever called it by its real name. All animals were afraid of it. Though Mowgli believed Bagheera's words, he didn't take them seriously. He promised him to get the red flower, but he didn't think that he would need it soon. One day, when Mowgli was going back home, he saw Akela chasing a deer. Akela was too old and weak to catch the deer. Other wolves were watching the chase, and they made fun of the old wolf.
Where is your strength, Akela? What's wrong with you?
You
have become so old and weak that you can't even catch a deer,
said the other wolves. When Mowgli saw the other wolves making fun of Akela, he understood that they would soon turn against him. Bagheera is right, thought Mowgli. It is very dangerous to be in the jungle without having the red flower. If Akela is unable to protect me, they will soon kill me. The next day, Mowgli went to the village where men lived. He looked into a hut and saw a man adding wood to a fire that was in a pot. Mowgli entered the hut and took the pot as soon as the man left the hut. On his way to the jungle, he met Bagheera.
The wolves don't want Akela to be their leader, and they want to kill him,
said Bagheera.
They want to kill you too, so they are waiting until you are both together.
I have fire, said Mowgli. I am ready for them. Chapter 5. A Brave Leader. All day, Mowgli kept putting wood in the red flower's pot. The red flower was very important to him. It was the only thing that could save his life. That night was a full moon, the monthly date of the pack's meeting. But this meeting seemed to be different from all other meetings Mowgli attended. When the meeting started, Baloo acted as the chief of the meeting since he is the keeper of the laws of the jungle.
Who wants to speak for the pack?
Asked Baloo.
Shere Khan,
answered the wolves. Mowgli told them that Shere Khan was not one of the pack, and he didn't have the right to speak. Soon they heard Shere Khan's roar.
I am not one of the pack, and you neither,
said Shere Khan angrily. Baloo told them that even though Akela was not the leader anymore, he should speak first.
I know that I am old and weak, and some of you want me to die. I am brave enough to fight you till death,
said Akela.
We don't want to kill you. We just don't want a man cub in the pack. Let him go back to the village,"
said one of the wolves.
No!
Roared Shere Khan.
If you do that, he will send men with guns after us. Give the boy to me to die safely. The man cub is mine.
Akela refused to let Shere Khan kill Mowgli.
"I know I must die, but if you try to kill the man cub, you will have to fight me first,"
said Akela. Mowgli leaves the pack. Mowgli knew what to do. He threw the fire out of its pot onto the ground. He added to it some pieces of wood. The wolf pack and Shere Khan were afraid of the fire, and they moved back from the flames. "I don't call you brothers anymore," shouted Mowgli. "I will leave the pack and go back to my own people, but you will learn a lesson before I leave." Mowgli picked up a piece of fire on a long stick. He went toward Shere Khan, who got to his feet. He hit him on the head. Shere Khan cried out in fear and pain. "Remember this, Shere Khan," Mowgli said. He moved among the wolves with the fire striking out at them. "You will let Akela free. You will not kill him because I told you not to," said Mowgli. Shere Khan and all the wolves ran away. Only Baloo, Mowgli, and Akela stayed behind. Tears rolled down Mowgli's cheeks. He didn't know what tears were. Akela told him that these were man's tears.
"You are crying because now you must leave the jungle and return,"
said Akela. Mowgli said goodbye to Baloo and Akela. He went to say goodbye to Bagheera and Mother Wolf. He promised them that he would come back and kill Shere Khan one day. Mowgli left the jungle and went down to the village to meet the people who were known as men. Chapter 7. A Wolf Boy Among Men. When Mowgli came to the village, people were afraid of him. They ran into their huts and closed the doors. Some kind people tried to speak to him, but he couldn't understand them because he only could understand the language of animals. They thought that he was a strange creature, and they wanted him to leave the village. People called the mayor to come and see this strange creature to decide whether to let him stay or make him leave the village.
He is not a strange creature,
said the mayor.
He is a child who has been living with wolves.
The mayor remembered an accident that happened a few years ago when a fierce tiger chased a man. The man ran from the tiger and lost the baby in the jungle.
He could be that boy,
said the mayor. The mayor took the boy to his house. He gave him some clothes and taught him how to wear them, and he gave him some food that he ate hungrily. When night came, he showed him a bed. Mowgli understood that he wanted him to lie down, but he refused to do it. He remembered that Bagheera told him that men keep animals as prisoners. He was afraid and jumped out of the window to sleep on the green grass. In the middle of the night, the eldest brother wolf cub came to him.
I followed you yesterday,
Said the wolf.
I waited until night to be able to enter the village. I have some urgent news to tell you.
Tell me, said Mowgli.
The red flower burned Shere Khan badly. He promised to kill you when he gets better,
Said the wolf. Mowgli thanked his faithful brother for warning him about Shere Khan. He told him to bring him more news whenever he had any. Chapter 8. The Revenge. People were afraid of Mowgli, who would sleep in the fields. They thought he was strange and dangerous. Jean, the mayor's daughter, liked Mowgli. She would play with him. She taught him how to wear his clothes, which were not comfortable for him in the beginning. She helped him to start learning men's language. She taught him the meanings of words, and he started to understand what people were saying. And in time, he was able to say words and sentences which made people understand him. They started to deal with him without being afraid. The mayor told him that he had to work for his food. The villagers owned a lot of cattle that ate grass some way away from the village. Cattle had to be kept together to be safe from the fierce animals' attacks. The mayor suggested that Mowgli could look after the cattle and keep them safe, since he could speak the language of the animals. Mowgli liked herding the cattle, and they became friends. One day, while Mowgli was herding the cattle, his wolf brother brought him some news.
Shere Khan came back. He is searching for you. He has Tabaki the jackal with him. They are hiding somewhere near the village gates, waiting for a good chance to attack you,
said Brother Wolf. Mowgli had a clever idea to trap Shere Khan and Tabaki. I must use my cattle to attack him, but they will never do it unless they smell him, said Mowgli. Brother Wolf went away for a few minutes. He came back with Akela with him. Mowgli was glad to see the old wolf again. He was not the leader of the pack, but he was still alive and well. I know that you would never forget me, Mowgli told Akela.
My dear son, we have a lot of work to do. It is time to face Shere Khan, who would do anything to take his revenge,
said Akela. The trap. Mowgli told Akela about his plan to face wicked Shere Khan. Akela trusted Mowgli's plan since he knew that men are more clever than animals. We must divide the cattle into 2 lots. We must keep the cows separate from the bulls, suggested Mowgli. After Mowgli and Akela separated the 2 kinds of cattle, Mowgli asked Akela to guide the cows to one side of the ravine, while Mowgli guided the bulls to the other side. Mowgli's plan was to trick Shere Khan into the ravine and then to move the bulls and cows into him from both sides so he couldn't escape. When the cattle were ready, Mowgli put his hands to his mouth and shouted, "Where are you, Shere Khan?" Shere Khan shouted back with a fierce roar.
Who is calling me?
"It is me, Mowgli. Come and fight me, or are you afraid?" shouted Mowgli. Shere Khan was sure that he was stronger than Mowgli and could easily kill him. He came out of his hiding place and ran into the ravine where Mowgli waited for him. As soon as Shere Khan was in the ravine, Akela chased the bulls and Mowgli chased the cows into him. They ran over Shere Khan and killed him. Mowgli and Akela were very happy that finally they were able to get rid of the enemy who wanted to kill Mowgli since he was a baby. Chapter 10. Mowgli is back home. After Mowgli killed Shere Khan, he wanted to remove his coat to send it back to the jungle with Akela and Brother Wolf. He wanted Akela to prove to the pack that he was still strong and was able to kill Shere Khan. When the villagers knew that Mowgli was able to kill the wicked tiger, they were happy. They decided to have a big party to celebrate the death of the wicked tiger who threatened them for years. They told Mowgli that he could live with any family he chose. He could be their son. Even the mayor told him that he could live with him, his wife, and his daughter Jean. But Mowgli decided to go back to the jungle. Mowgli went back to the jungle with Akela and Brother Wolf. Mother Wolf was very happy to see Mowgli again. Bagheera and Baloo were also pleased to know that Mowgli would stay in the jungle. Mowgli took Shere Khan's skin to the meeting rock where all the pack would meet when it was full moon. Akela called all the pack to see that Shere Khan was killed. Mother Wolf, all the sister and brother wolves, Akela, Bagheera, and Baloo told Mowgli that they were his family. The wolves wanted him to be their leader, but he chose Akela to be the wolves' leader. Mowgli lived in the jungle with his family of animals, but he would go to the village every week to visit the villagers and play with Jean. He lived among animals, but he never forgot that he was a man. The moral is, you are strong enough to face your biggest fears.